Welcome back. We were discussing about information systems development, in which we are developing the information system or finding a solution to a particular problem. So some feasibility factors we have to consider while making the systems investigation. So there are several feasibility factors associated while investigating the system. So first, the operational feasibility. So we should think about how the proposed system will support our business priorities, how it can be able to solve our identified problem, how it can fit to our enterprise structure. So that we have to analyze first, and these some of the feasibility factors we are going to discuss. We should prepare a proper report for all such feasibility reports. That means factors. Next, let us discuss about economic feasibility. So cost saving is one of the important aspects associated with the development of information system. So that is why we have to analyze some cost benefit related aspects. So that is returns for investment that we have to calculate. So that means revenue should be increased and the other investment requirements should be decreased and the profits must be increased. Keeping that in mind, we are developing the system, because these development stages cost a lot of things. That means we need more economic resources, financially as well as human resource, and we need time to develop such systems. That is why we should conduct these feasibility studies. So economic feasibility is one such factors. Here we mainly study about cost benefit related issues. And next we have to think about technical feasibility. So we have to first determine that we can acquire related hardware, software, or network or other technical resources in our area. So while developing such systems, because without the technical feasibility we cannot move further. So the required hardware should be available and the software or the development team should be available, or you can hire the software developers also. So what are the things we have to consider that we should understand first? So all the technical requirements should be listed and we have to make sure that these are available within our area, as well as with economical factor that we studied before. That also we should consider in mind related to the technical feasibility. That means the hardware, resources, some of the software required, other networking or some data handling procedures. So whatever it may be. So technical factors are important. Next, human factors means human resource related feasibility. You have to check whether the related employees to conduct the studies as well as developing the information systems are available or not. That we have to check. That means after developing the system also it should be useful to our users, and before developing the system whether the developers or the required persons are available or not, we have to check. And finally, before developing, we have to assess the acceptance level. So whether the developed information system is accepted by our employees or customers or suppliers or not, we have to check. And how much is the management support, top management support is always important. And for the development of such systems, the managers and the important persons also should get involved in these activities, that means in system development activities. And we have to determine the right people for the right job, means what are the job positions required and what is the task. We have to think first, and we have to sometimes upgrade their jobs or roles. So based upon our requirement, we may give a new role or new responsibility to different job positions. And next important thing is legal or political feasibility. So some legal aspects are there, so related to our project or the development. So is it possible to obtain patent, or we have to check whether the patent is already acquired by any other persons, so whether it violates any copyrights. So that we have to study. Study means we have to assess. So initial study we have to conduct here. And what are the software licensing requirements, how much it costs, and how much licenses are required, and how much it is required for developing the solution. So especially for developers license, in that angle we have to check first. And what are the government restrictions? Is there any restrictions for the from the government related to any policy matter? So that we have to check first. And changes to the existing reporting structure. So if we make any changes to the existing report, whether it affects any legal aspect or some political means, here we have to think in terms of government. So even the government is stable or not, that is also important, because while developing such systems we are thinking in terms of long time duration. So some legal or political feasibility are important, because we are developing the system which should be durable for long period of time. And we have to conduct systems analysis, you can say, means the study of the system. In simple terms, we have to study the system, a scientific or in-depth study of the system. For that we have to check the user's information needs. So what are the needs of users at different levels of organization, and what information they require for decision making, and what information we need for supplying to our stakeholders, that we have to check. So it is, we have to conduct in-depth study of the information needs. So what information we need at what level we have to check. That means the functional requirements must be used as a basis for the design of an information system. So it will produce that functional requirement report. So it involves detailed study of the system. That means the information needs, the activities, resources, and other type of products or any other type of actions that are being used, that we have to study. And we have to study the AIS capabilities required to meet the information needs of business stakeholders. So whether it meets the needs of stakeholders, that we have to study. So we have to conduct one study, and for all such studies as well as all such stages of SDLC, that is Systems Development Life Cycle, you need to produce number of reports, say feasibility factor, we have to produce one report. For system analysis also, in this step also we are producing different reports, and we have to submit to the management for approval. After finalizing that only, we have to move to the next levels. And in organizational analysis, study of the organization, complete study including the users, means the persons who are involved in the development and who are going to use the system, as well as the management structure or the organization structure, the activities that are happening in the businesses. We have to consider various departments and the flow of information between the departments, and the activities of one department, how it affects the activities of other department, we have to check, and many other factors. So mainly as an accountant also, if you are going to develop accounting information system, so you should study the input requirements, processing requirements, what output you are going to get, storage requirement, control, or any other type of feedback requirements. In terms of that, we have to check, because accountants means they are like auditors of the present system. So they can involve in these system analysis stage or any other stage, all the stages they can get involved. So in identifying the system's requirement in terms of its input, processing, output, and any other type of requirements. So accountant can act as auditor of the system, as well as they can act as system analysis, and they can involve in the team of system analysts team. That means they can play wide variety of role here, because while analyzing or studying the present system, as an accountant you can have many number of roles. So analysis of the present system is required before designing the new system, so that you can replace the old system to a new system. So why we are conducting these system analysis? That means we have to find a solution to a problem, or we have to change the old system to a new system, or we want to just study the system whether any possibility of improvement or not. So for that purposes we are conducting system analysis. So before designing the new system, so we have to study related to the hardware and software requirement, network requirements, human resource requirement for data conversions, and various activities, system activities like IO, input, output, processing, storage, and all such activities we have to study, and we have to produce one report here, it is system analysis report. So that is why the study of the present system is required. In this we have to do a logical analysis and build a logical model. Okay, it is like a sketch, you can say, or depending upon the project, you can consider it as a blueprint of the present system or current system. So it displays what the current system, your existing system, does without regard to how it does. So right now we are concerning about what the system is doing, and we are not worrying presently about how it is doing. So just we are understanding about the present system. So understanding about all the functions as well as the data or information flow associated with the present system. And we have to make a list of functional requirements, because this is the difficult step. So here we have to determine what type of information each business activity requires, and we have to determine the information processing capability required for each system activity. For every activity we have to determine the capability also, and now we have to identify what should be done. So what should be done to meet our requirement, and at present we are not considering about how to do the work. So after that we are going to take into consideration this factor. So some functional requirements involve development of user interface, user's screen, you can say. Example, say for example, entering of a product information, the data entry screen, or some customers interface, online interface, that we are considering. And in the processing level, some calculations of total shipping costs, and some say for example, if it involves accounting, we are thinking in terms of posting of ledger entries or comparing of entries, etc. So storage retrieval also important for fast storage in the system, as well as accessing from the storage related to our product pricing or any other customer related databases. And some of the control signals, so we have to check some errors, or we have to control or monitor at each and every stage. In that we have to send some quick email confirmation for customers, so in various control stages. So in the system design, next we have to discuss. It focuses on 3 areas. So it involves user interface design. So here we have to design the screens, data entry forms, or some report screens, or some dialog boxes. So all such user interfaces we have to design, which should be convenient to our employees or stakeholders, so that they can enter or see the reports in a user friendly manner. And we have to design the data element, so that the entire structure of data and information requirement you can have. And the process design, which involves the programming related aspects. So total program or procedural design we have to conduct. We have to make one diagram step by step how the processes are going to happen. That we are going to design here, the systems design. Next class we will discuss more. Okay, thank you.